Hey guys, we are Bananas for the World. So many people ask us, how do we budget for our trip? How do we prepare? How do we even know how much money we're going to be spending in every single country? And how do we make our money last us as long as possible? So today we'll share with you 4 different tips that we use for every single trip before actually even booking our first flight that really help us prepare mentally on how much we're going to be spending and how much to save up. So check it out.
So our first tip is budgetyourtrip.com. It's one of our favorite websites. It really gives you a clear perspective on what it's going to cost you per day based on where you want to go. So we'll navigate you through it, show you how we do it so you can get a closer look at how to get a perfect picture of what you're going to be spending.
Alright guys, so the first thing that I'm going to do is go on to budgetyourtrip.com. You're going to come onto a page like this. And then in here, you can type in where you're going. So let's say we're going to Tokyo. I'm going to click search. And then down here, Tokyo will pop up. Just click on that. And then over here, as we scroll down, you'll see that everything is in Japanese yen. So it gives you the local currency of where you're going to. But what I like to do is just change the currency so I get a better idea. So I'm going to change it to Canadian dollar because we are Canadian. And then what you get is an average daily cost per person over here. You can also see how much it would cost per week. And then you can see actually per couple. So per couple, you can see that it's exactly double. Generally, we don't spend double for the both of us. We generally spend about 1.5 of what it is per person. So just take that into account. Over here, this is a very helpful tool. You can adjust if you're going to go for budget, mid-range, or luxury. So what we like to do is compare all of them to get a really good idea of how much we'll be spending. Generally, we're closer to budget, between budget and mid-range, but you can definitely see that luxury, and let's just change that. You can end up spending a lot of money, 436 Canadian dollars per person per day in Tokyo. But if you go down to, let's say, budget, and let's change that to Canadian dollar, it goes down to $60 per day. So we definitely want to stay around the lower end. And then if you scroll down, you can actually see it broken down into what you're actually going to be spending money on. So you can see accommodation will be about $29 per person, but that's for like the lowest of the lowest budget. $16 for food. And then you can kind of take into account, are you a big drinker? Because $16 for alcohol, if you don't drink, then you don't even need to account for that. Over here you have scams, robberies, and mishaps. That usually, I mean, thank God we never got robbed, but you do have to account for some loss. For example, currency conversion or ATM withdrawals. You're definitely going to lose some money, so definitely keep that in mind. Entertainment, if you're going to be going on more tours or seeing some shows, definitely that budget has to be a lot higher. Transportation, this will account for probably about 2 rides on the train, but if you are going to be taking taxis, then definitely go for a higher budget. Then you have food, water.
Alright guys, so that's budgetyourtrip.com. As you can see, it's super easy to navigate. You can convert everything into local currency, so you really have a clear image of what you're going to be looking at when you finally get to your destination.
Yes. So next up, you want to be looking at your accommodation costs. It's super important to figure out first what you're going to be using. Is it hotels, hostels, or Airbnb? We personally prefer Airbnb just because for couples traveling, you usually can get the most bang for your buck. It includes laundry, it includes a kitchen. So for budget travelers, that's probably the best option to go with. So for Airbnb, we have a really big recommendation for you guys.
Alright guys, so for Airbnb, most of you already know how to use it, so we won't take up too much of your time. We'll just kind of go through the tips we have for booking a stay. So once you have your destination and your date set in place, make sure you go through those filters. Really get what's important to you. A lot of people forget this step. They find a place and then realize they didn't check if it had a kitchen or, you know, an air conditioner. Whatever is really important. Once you have that set in place, go to price. Now for price, you may have, let's say, $200 a night to spend on an Airbnb, and you want to spend something closer to $100. Make sure you set that marker. Don't set it to $200. Set it to $100 because you'll get a lot more results within that price range. If you set it to $200, you might get a few, but you'll get a lot more if you narrow it down. Another tip is if you're planning to stay 5 or 6 days, consider staying for 7. A lot of hosts offer a large discount for staying a full week, and we found that sometimes it's actually cheaper to stay 7 days than it is 6 days. So if you don't have your tickets booked yet and you're pretty flexible, that's really something to consider. Another thing you need to think about is how you're going to get to your Airbnb from the hotel. So let's say you found a really great place. It's within your budget. Everything looks great. Reviews are perfect. Zoom in as close as you can on the map. You won't get the exact address because they won't give it to you until you book it, but you can get a rough idea of where it is, maybe find a landmark, something nearby, and see on Google Maps how you would get from the airport to that Airbnb. Sometimes they have shuttle buses, sometimes you have to take the train, and you don't want to be taking 3 different trains to get to your destination. Last tip is take into account if you where your Airbnb is going to be in relation to the sites you want to see. It might be worth it to save a few extra dollars by staying a little bit farther out of the city and taking the train to where you want to see, or you might find that it's worth spending a few extra dollars a night but being close to where it is you want to go and not wasting half your day traveling.
So as you can see, Airbnb is super easy to navigate, and it gives you a very clear picture on how much you're planning to spend. But just don't forget the service fees, and just check out the reviews. Make sure they're actually really good, because you don't want to end up hating the place that you're staying in.
All right, so next let's talk about budgeting for flights. We love to use Skyscanner.com, and I'll show you exactly why.
Alright guys, so as you can see, I'm on Skyscanner right now. You might notice that over here, I'm actually on a private browser. The reason for that is because the airlines actually track your searches. So let's say you're looking for a flight to Tokyo one day, and then the next day you're looking for it again. You might notice that the flights are getting more expensive, and that's because the airlines know that you're looking for that specific flight, so they're raising the prices on you. So we like to keep it on private browser, that way they're not tracking our searches. So over here, it's pretty easy to use. You can just click on round trip, depending on what you're doing, over here from Toronto to Tokyo. And then this is my favorite part. So over here, you can actually click on whole month. And depending on how flexible you are, you can either click cheapest month, which will give you the cheapest flight in the year. Or let's say you're looking for a flight for December, you click on December. And then click search. And then as you can see, it gives you literally every single day and the different prices for every single day. So once you click on the departing flight, it will actually adjust the return flight. So let's say we're going for the 3rd, and then over here you can see that they adjusted the flights for return, and then we'll click on, let's say this one. So just keep in mind that these flights that you see here are not always accurate. So you will have to continue to show flights to actually see the accurate prices. Alright, so this takes a little while as it's searching, but over here you can see it breaks it down by best, cheapest, or fastest. So the best flights will definitely be flights that are shorter, but are still really good for the price. The cheapest will be, obviously, a lot of the time you'll see very long haul flights with very long stopovers. So if that's what you're into and you're trying to save some money, go for that one. Or you can go for the fastest one, which in this case is also the best. So let's say we're going for the best. You can see over here that it's non-stop flights directly to Tokyo. We're going to go to see deals. And then down here, you can actually see the different companies that you can buy from. So you can actually buy directly from Air Canada. And then once you click that, you will know that the price is for certain, and it will give you the price for the 2 people.
So as you can see, Skyscanner really helps you break down what you're going to spend, whether you're on a flexible schedule or you have a very strict date that you need to go on. It's just ideal to find that perfect flight in your budget.
So last tip for you guys is this app that we use all the time. We love it so much. It's called Trabee Pocket. And basically what it does, you can plug in your actual budget that you've gotten from Budget Your Trip, and every single day as you're spending money, you plug in your expenses, and it shows you at the end of the day how much you went over or under and how much you still have left for the amount of time that you're staying. So it's super, super helpful in case you are spending a lot more money one day. If you're taking a big tour or something, you know that for the next day you kind of have to cut your expenses, maybe cook at home or something, just to balance out your budget.
Alright, so let's take a look at how to use Trabee Pocket. Alright guys, so obviously the first thing you want to do is go into your app store and download Trabee Pocket. This should be available for both iPhone and Android. Once you have that installed, go ahead and open it. And you'll notice in the bottom right corner there's a little blue circle with a plus. Just go ahead and click on that. And let's name our trip. Let's say we're going to Tokyo. So from there you want to set the date. Let's say we're going from the 24th of November until the 30th. And change the travel country so that you have the right currency. You're free to change that icon at the bottom, the little image. It's not really important. But one thing I do recommend is purchasing the app. I don't think it's very expensive. It's like $2.99. I'm not usually a fan of paying for apps, but this one really did make a difference. It helps you synchronize in real time your local currency versus your destination currency, so you really have a good picture of what you're spending. So once you've done that, let's do an add currency budget. Let's say from Budget Your Trip, you found that you need about 200,000 yen for your entire stay. Just go ahead and put that in and click Done in the top right corner. Then it takes you back to the screen. Let's click Done again. And on the left-hand side here, you'll see all the dates that you put in on your schedule. So let's say you're about to hop on a bus or transit. Just click the plus in the bottom right corner here again, and you'll see transport or anything that, let's say you're going for a coffee. These icons are all customizable. You can change them however you want. You can rename them, choose different icons, whatever you find works for you. So let's just go to transport, and let's say that it cost us, 10,000 yen. I know it's a little bit expensive. That's 116 Canadian dollars. As you can see in the top right corner, it converts the 10,000 yen to your local currency. You'll notice to the left of that, you can click whether you paid on cash or credit. It's another great option that helps you budget out where the money's coming from. The last thing you're going to do is name it. So let's just say we're taking the train, and click Save. So after you've done that, you'll see in the bottom left there's a spending budget and the remaining balance. So that way you can really keep track of how much you've spent in your entire trip and how much you have left. So altogether, we found this app really helps us maintain our budget, keep control of where our spending is going, and even afterwards, you always know what you are most likely to spend more money on. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really hope that was useful information for you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, follow, and hit that notification link so you know when the next video is coming out.
And you guys, we are a community here, a community of travelers. Travel is such an important part of our lives, and I know for a lot of you guys, you love travel as well. So please let us know in the comments below, what are your other suggestions? How do you budget for your trip so that we can all grow together as travelers and make the most out of our money and out of our time and out of our experiences?
So go explore the world, stay safe, and have fun, guys.
Bye!